It was 2:47 a.m., and I was down on my knees in the garage, tearing up soggy cardboard boxes that stank of wet dog and gasoline. My hands were raw, my back was howling, and I hadn't eaten since noon. The rain had come through the roof earlier that day, some busted shingles I'd been meaning to fix, and turned half our stuff into mush. Old photo albums, my grandpa's fishing gear, a stack of car magazines I'd kept since I was a kid, all of it soaked and ruined. I was running on fumes, just me and a shop light swinging overhead, when the door creaked open. There was my wife, Tara, 32 years old, standing in her pajamas with a glass of wine in her hand. She squinted at the mess, then at me, and said, "You didn't even get the back corner yet." Typical. Behind her, her cousin Mitch, 37, leaned against the frame, chewing on a toothpick and grinning like he'd just won a bet. "Man, he's not even a husband. He's a janitor with a mortgage," he said, and they both cracked up. I looked up, my knuckles wide around a soap box, and Tara just shrugged. "Keep going, though, the kitchen's next if this leaks upstairs." I swallowed hard, said nothing, and went back to work. That was 3 nights ago, and now they won't stop calling. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the top. I'm Jake, 34 years old, and I've been married to Tara for 6 years. The first few were solid, nothing fancy, just 2 people building a life. I'm a mechanic, always have been. I like fixing things, cars, sinks, you name it. Tara used to say she loved that about me, how I'd roll up my sleeves and get it done. She was different back then, full of energy, always planning something, like fixing up the house or taking a road trip in my beat-up Chevy pickup. But the last couple years, things shifted, and it all started when Mitch showed up. Mitch is Tara's cousin, a loudmouth who thinks he's one step away from striking it rich. 2 years back, he got laid off from some sales job, fired, really, but he calls it restructuring, and Tara begged me to let him crash with us. Just a month, she said, till he's back on his feet. I didn't love it, but I said okay. That month turned into a year, then more, and now he's a fixture, like a bad stain on the couch. Mitch is all talk, big ideas, no follow-through. He's got this shiny Dodge Charger he can't pay for, always yapping about some crypto deal or a sure thing at the bar that'll make him millions. Meanwhile, I'm still driving my 12-year-old Chevy, keeping it running with spit and duct tape, because that's what I do. I make things work. When Mitch moved in, the whole house changed. Suddenly, it was 2 against 1. They team up, poking fun at me over dumb stuff, how I eat my steak too fast, how I don't care about reality TV, how my boots track mud in from the shop. Tara started acting different too, spending cash like it grew on trees. Packages piled up at the door, new clothes, fancy candles, stuff we didn't need. She'd go out with her girlfriends, come back talking about $200 dinners, while I'm over here picking up extra hours at the garage to keep the lights on. I'd ask her about it sometimes, and she'd just wave me off, "Relax, Jake, we're fine." But we weren't fine, not even close. So that Monday, I got home from a 10-hour shift, arms greasy from swapping an alternator, and I hear this dripping sound. I follow it to the garage, water's pouring down from the ceiling like a damn faucet. Turns out the upstairs bathroom pipe had sprung a leak. I told Mitch a dozen times that toilet was off limits. I was waiting on a part to fix it, but he'd used it anyway, flushed it, left the water running, and then peeled out with Tara to hit some trivia night at the brewery. I shut off the main valve, grabbed my flashlight, and saw the damage. The garage floor was a swamp. Boxes of memories, tools I'd inherited from my dad, all drowning. I texted Tara, "Pipe broke. Garage flooded. Where you at?" 2 hours later, she hits back. "Oh no, that's awful. At Hops and Barley with Mitch. Can you deal with it? We're in the middle of a round." So I dealt with it. Called plumbers. Nobody could come till Wednesday. Hit the hardware store, grabbed tarps, a wet vac, some buckets. Started cleaning solo. No food, no rest, just me against the water. Hours passed, my knees grinding into the concrete, my hands blistered from yanking apart wet junk. By 2:47 a.m., I was a wreck, hungry, sore, pissed off. That's when Tara and Mitch rolled in, giggling like kids. They stumbled down the garage steps, and there I was, soaked to the bone, surrounded by trash bags and ruined stuff. Tara wrinkled her nose. "Smells like a swamp in here." Mitch chuckled, toothpick bouncing. "Should have called somebody. Dude, your back's gotta be killing you." I muttered something about plumbers being booked. "That's why you need a guy," Mitch said, like he's got a Rolodex of miracle workers. Then Tara pointed at the corner. "You didn't even get that spot." Typical. They laughed again, hard, like I was the punchline to some private joke. I just stared, feeling something twist inside me, not loud, not sudden, but deep. They wandered back upstairs, talking about brunch plans, leaving me there in the wet and the dark. I stayed till 5 a.m., finished what I could, showered, and dragged myself to work on zero sleep. That day, something clicked. I wasn't just tired, I was done. After that night in the garage, I couldn't shake it, the way Tara's typical stung, the way Mitch's laugh echoed in my skull. I went to work that Tuesday, running on black coffee and spite, my hands still aching from the night before. I'm a mechanic at Hal's Auto Shop, been there 9 years, and I'm good at it. Folks trust me with their engines, and I don't mess around. But that day, I was off. Kept dropping wrenches, zoning out while torquing bolts. My buddy Ray, who runs the front desk, noticed. "You all right, Jake? Look like you got hit by a truck." I just shrugged. Rough night. House stuff. He nodded. Didn't push Ray's solid like that. At lunch, I sat in my truck, staring at the dashboard, and decided I'd had enough. Not in some big, yelling way, just a quiet, I'm done, that settled in my gut. I didn't go home and smash stuff or cuss anybody out. That's not me. I fix things, not break them. But I started thinking, really thinking about how deep this hole went. Tara's spending, Mitch's freeloading, the way they treated me like a doormat with a paycheck. I grabbed my phone and called an old high school buddy, Tom, who's a numbers guy now, works at a credit union, helps people sort out their cash. We don't hang much anymore, but he's straight up, no nonsense. I told him I needed a favor, off the books, just a quick chat. Sure, man, he said. Meet me at the diner on 5th after work, for 30. I said I'd be there. The diner was quiet, just the hum of the AC and the clink of plates. Tom slid into the booth across from me, still in his button-up from work, and I laid it out, bare bones, no whining. The mortgage we could barely cover. The credit cards I knew about, and the ones I suspected I didn't. Mitch living with us, eating our food, probably dipping into our bank account for all I knew. How I'd been working overtime while Tara blew cash on wine nights and Mitch chased pipe dreams. Tom listened, sipping his coffee, then set the mug down hard. Jake, you're getting screwed 6 ways to Sunday. They're draining you dry. He didn't sugarcoat it, and I didn't need him to. I asked what I could do, not to screw anybody over, just to get myself clear. He leaned in. First, you gotta see the whole picture, every dollar in, every dollar out. Then you lock down what's yours. Let the rest fall where it falls. By the time I left, I had a plan brewing. Step 1, figure out the damage. Step 2, protect what I could. Step 3, let Tara and Mitch deal with the mess they'd made. I got home late, around 7 p.m., and Tara was sprawled on the couch, scrolling her phone, some cooking show blaring. Mitch was out, probably at the bar, networking with our electric bill money. I walked in, still in my greasy work shirt, and she barely looked up. Garage still a mess? She asked, like it was my fault the roof leaked. Getting there, I said. She perked up suddenly. Oh, good, means you can pick up some extra shifts this weekend, right? There's this rooftop party I want to hit with the girls. I nodded, calm as could be. Sounds fun. You should go for it. She blinked, surprised I didn't argue. Usually I'd ask how much or suggest we save up. Not tonight. Tonight, I was playing a different game. Next morning, before work, I swung by First National Bank, not our usual joint, a new one across town. Opened a solo account in my name, no ties to Tara. Changed my direct deposit from the shop, 70% to the new account, 30% to the old one. Enough to keep things running at home, not enough for them to notice right away. I wasn't hiding cash or pulling some shady move, just making sure I had something left when the dust settled. That night, I stayed late in the garage, not just cleaning, digging. Pulled out an old metal lockbox my dad gave me years ago, dusted it off, and started stashing stuff. Bank statements I'd snagged from the mail pile Tara never opened. Receipts I'd kept from hardware runs. A USB drive where I backed up photos of every bill, every package label I could find. I labeled the folder truck parts on my laptop, dull enough they'd never snoop. Over the next few days, I kept my head down. Acted normal, grunted at Tara's stories about her friends, nodded when Mitch rambled about his latest investor who'd change everything. But I was watching. Found a statement for a card I didn't recognize, $6,000 balance, all Tara's name. Saw Venmo payments to Mitch, hundreds here, hundreds there, labeled gas or groceries, but I'd been buying the groceries. Added it all to my lockbox. The anger kept me sharp. Every time I wanted to snap, I'd hear Tara's voice. You didn't even get the back corner yet. So I smiled instead, said, yep, and sure, and let them think I was still their pushover. A week in, I started letting things slide. The garage door opener jammed. I said I'd fix it later. The dishwasher started leaking. I shrugged. I'll get to it. Tara huffed. Mitch rolled his eyes, but I didn't budge. Day 10. I found a cheap rental, a studio apartment over by the old mill. Nothing special, just a bed, a sink, and a roof that didn't leak. Paid the deposit from my new account. Didn't move in yet, just locked it down. Day 12. Tara came stomping in from the driveway. My card got declined at the gas station. What the hell, Jake? I played dumb, scratched my head. That's weird. I'll check it out tonight. She glared, but I didn't flinch. That night, I muted my phone and slept in the garage on an old cot, listening to the drip of the still leaky roof. Something was building, and I was ready to let it loose. By day 14, the air in the house felt different, like that hum right before a storm hits. I've been keeping up my act. Work all day, not at Tara's chatter, grunt at Mitch's big talk nonsense, then hole up in the garage at night with my lockbox and laptop. My new account was growing 2 paychecks in, 70% of my cash safe from their hands. I wasn't stealing, just redirecting what I'd earned, what they'd been burning through like it was nothing. But the little things I'd let slide were piling up, and Tara was starting to notice. The garage door still wouldn't open. She had to park her Honda in the driveway now, and she hated it. When are you fixing that, Jake? She snapped one morning, pouring coffee into her fancy travel mug. Soon, I said, sipping mine from a chipped mug I'd had since trade school. She huffed and stormed out. I just smiled into my coffee. Mitch wasn't much better. He'd been griping about the Wi-Fi cutting out. Turns out the bill hadn't been paid, and I'd forgotten to call the company. How am I supposed to work my deals with no internet? He whined, pacing the living room in his knockoff designer sneakers. Libraries got free Wi-Fi, I said, flipping through a car magazine I'd salvaged from the flood. He stared at me like I'd grown a second head, then muttered something about me being useless and stomped off. I didn't care. Every annoyed glare, every sharp word, just fueled me. They didn't know it yet, but the ground was shifting under them. Day 15, the first big domino fell. I was at the shop, elbow deep in a transmission job, when my phone buzzed. Tara, why's my card not working? I'm at the grocery store, and it's declined again. Her voice was shrill, pissed off. I waited a beat, kept my tone flat. That's odd. I'll look into it when I get home. She started yelling, something about embarrassment and how I needed to fix this now, but I cut her off. Gotta go, customers waiting. Hung up and went back to work. Ray overheard, raised an eyebrow. Trouble in paradise? I shrugged. Just a glitch. He didn't buy it, but he didn't pry. When I got home, Tara was a tornado. She met me at the door, waving her phone like a weapon. It declined at the coffee shop too. People were staring. Jake, what's going on? I set my toolbox down, scratched my neck, and played it cool. Let's check the account. Pulled up our joint bank page on my laptop, right there in the kitchen, with her hovering over me. Balance was down to $200. Huh, I said, scrolling slow. Rent cleared, but look at all these charges. $1.80 at that wine bar, $150 at some boutique, couple hundred to Mitch's Venmo. Her face tightened. He needed that for a business thing. He's paying us back. I nodded, all innocent. Sure. Well, my check's not until Friday. Guess we're eating ramen till then. She looked horrified, like I'd suggested we live in a tent. Ramen? Are you serious? I shrugged. It's what we've got. Mitch rolled in later, smelling like cheap cologne and cheaper beer. He'd heard about the money mess, probably from Tara's frantic texts, and leaned against the counter, smirking. Heard you're pinching pennies now, Jake. Cutting us off. I was wiping down a socket wrench. Didn't even look up. Not on purpose. Just tight till payday. He laughed, short and sharp. Thought you were the responsible one, man. Isn't that your whole deal? I set the wrench down, met his eyes. Guess I slipped up. He didn't like that. His smirk faded, but he didn't push. Just grabbed a beer from the fridge, my beer, and wandered off. The next few days, it was like watching a slow-motion car wreck. Day 16, the power flickered, bill was late, and I forgot to pay it online like usual. Tara freaked when her hair straightener died mid-use. What's wrong with you lately? Everything's falling apart. I was eating a peanut butter sandwich, calm as could be. Been busy at work. I'll call tomorrow. She glared, but I didn't flinch. Day 17, Mitch came home ranting. His gym pass got rejected. Your card's linked to my membership. Dude, it bounced. I chewed my sandwich, shrugged. I'll figure it out next week. He threw his hands up. Next week? I need to work out now. I almost laughed but held it in. Day 18, I took a day off, didn't tell them. Drove to my studio by the mill, set it up with the basics. A cot from the shop's break room, a hot plate, a stack of clothes in a duffel bag. Moved my lockbox there too. Bank papers, photos of their spending, all my proof. Left my grandpa's fishing pole and a few tools I'd never let go. That night, I accidentally left my laptop open at home, screen showing an overdue electric bill notice. Tara found it, lost her mind. Jake, this is insane. You're letting everything crash. What's wrong with you? I closed the laptop slow, looked her dead in the eye. I'm tired, Tara. Work's been rough. Stuff's slipping. She blinked, thrown off. She expected me to jump and fix it, like always. Well, do something. I can't live like this. I nodded. I'll try. Day 20, the big one hit. Tara's main credit card, maxed out for months, one I'd been babysitting with minimum payments, got canceled. She tried buying shoes online, and it wouldn't go through. Called me from her car, screaming. They shut it off, Jake. Said we didn't pay. What did you do? I was at the studio, bolting a shelf together, phone on speaker. Must have missed a payment. I'll check later, swamped right now. She kept yelling, but I let it roll off. Mitch called next, then Tara again, phone buzzing like a chainsaw. I ignored it all, finished my shelf, and slept at the studio that night. Cot was hard, but it was mine. Next morning, 42 missed calls, 29 texts. Most were Tara freaking out, Mitch cussing me out. One voicemail stood out. Tara, voice shaky. Jake, Mitch says something's weird with the bank. Are you moving money? I'm scared, call me. I smiled, cold and quiet. They were feeling it now. Tomorrow, I'd pick up the phone. Tomorrow, they'd see what happens when you push a fixer too far. Day 21 hit, like a freight train. I'd been ghosting Tara and Mitch for days, sleeping at my studio by the mill, letting their calls stack up like junk mail. My phone was a war zone. 58 missed calls, 40 texts, a dozen voicemails by morning. I woke up on that creaky cot, made coffee on my hot plate, and sat there in the quiet, staring at the cracked plaster wall. It wasn't much, but it was mine. No snide comments, no dripping ceilings, just peace. At 9 a.m., I turned my phone on, watched it light up with notifications. Tara's latest text, sent at 2 a.m., Jake, please, I don't know what's happening. Call me. Mitch's last one. Pick up. Man, this is messed up. I took a deep breath, sipped my coffee, and dialed Tara back. She answered before the first ring finished, voice high and frayed. Jake, where the hell are you? What's going on? I stayed steady, like I was talking someone through an oil change. I've been around. Needed some space. What's the problem? She launched in, credit card canceled, bills piling up, bank account dry. Did you do something to the money? Mitch says you're screwing us over. I let her rant, then cut in. I know about the card you hid, $6,000 deep. I know about the cash to Mitch, thousands, Tara, while I'm busting my ass. I'm done being the bank. Silence on her end, then a shaky, you've been spying on me? No, I said. Just paying attention for once. She switched gears, voice softening. Jake, we can fix this. I didn't mean to hurt you. I wasn't buying it. Not after years of her and Mitch laughing in my face. We need to talk in person, I said. Not at the house. Meet me at the diner on 5th, 1 p.m. Bring Mitch if you want. She hesitated, then agreed. Okay, 1 o'clock. Don't flake. I hung up, grabbed my lockbox, and headed out. Got to the diner early, took a booth in the back, ordered a coffee, black, no frills. Spread my papers. At 12:45, I opened my laptop, pulled up the bank records I'd been compiling for weeks. Every withdrawal, every transfer to Mitch, every dime Tara blew on stuff we couldn't afford, laid out in a spreadsheet, neat and ugly. I had photos too, receipts, Venmo screenshots, even a shot of that secret card statement I'd found in her purse. At 12:55, Tara walked in alone. No Mitch. She looked rough, hair messy, eyes red, like she hadn't slept. She slid into the booth, hands fidgeting. Where's Mitch? I asked, voice flat. She wouldn't meet my eyes. He's pissed. Said this is your mess. I nodded, not surprised. Fine. Let's get to it. I turned the laptop around, showed her the numbers. 6 years, Tara. I've been working doubles while you and Mitch bleed me dry. $12,000 to him in a year. Loans he never paid back. $20,000 in debt I didn't sign up for. You tell me how that's fair. Her mouth opened, closed, then opened again. I didn't know it was that much. Mitch said he'd. I cut her off. Mitch says a lot of things. You chose to believe him over me. She started crying, quiet, not loud, tears streaking her face. I messed up, Jake. I got caught up in it. His big plans, the fun. You were always so steady. I took it for granted. I let her talk, didn't say a word. Years of fixing her messes, and now she's sorry. Too late. When she wound down, I slid a folder across the table, not divorce papers, not yet. Just a list. Here's what I want. The Chevy's mine, it's in my name. I'm taking my tools, Grandpa's fishing gear, stuff that's mine. You keep the house, but you're refinancing it solo. I'm off the mortgage. And Mitch moves out. Today. She stared at the paper, stunned. That's it. I nodded. That's it. I'm not here to ruin you. Just want what's mine. She wiped her eyes, nodded slow. Okay. I'll make it work. I closed my laptop, stood up. One more thing, that night in the garage, when you said typical, while I was killing myself cleaning up. That's when I knew I was done. I walked out, left her sitting there, and didn't look back. Felt like I just dropped a 100-pound toolbox off my shoulders. The day after the diner, I felt lighter, like I'd been carrying a busted engine block for years and finally set it down. Didn't sleep much that night, just lay on my cot in the studio, staring at the ceiling, replaying Tara's face when I walked out. She didn't fight me, didn't yell, just sat there, looking small. Part of me wondered if she'd stick to the deal, but I wasn't holding my breath. Either way, I was done waiting on her to figure it out. Morning came, and I got to work, my kind of work. Drove my Chevy to the house around 10 a.m., when I knew Tara would be at her part-time gig at the boutique. Mitch's Charger wasn't in the driveway, good sign he'd cleared out, at least for now. I let myself in with my key, still my house, legally, till the mortgage got sorted. Place smelled like stale beer and Tara's lavender candles. Didn't waste time. Grabbed a couple empty oil drums from the garage, started loading my stuff. My toolbox, beat up red metal, heavy as hell, went first. Grandpa's fishing pole, still in its leather case, came next. A crate of car manuals I collected, some clothes from the closet, a few photos of me and my dad from before he passed. Didn't touch anything that wasn't mine. No dishes, no furniture, none of Tara's junk. Took maybe an hour, hauling it all to the truck. Before I left, I checked the garage, still a mess from the flood, but not my problem anymore. Locked the door behind me, dropped my key in the mailbox. Felt final, like turning off a machine I'd kept running too long. Back at the studio, I unloaded everything, set it up slow. Bolted my toolbox to the floor by the window, my workbench now. Hung the fishing pole on a couple nails I hammered into the wall. Stacked the manuals on a milk crate I'd snagged from the shop. It wasn't home yet, just a shell, but it was mine. That night, I cooked ramen on the hot plate. Same stuff I told Tara we'd be eating. Laughed to myself, thinking how she'd wrinkled her nose at the idea. Tasted fine to me. Phone stayed quiet. No calls, no texts. Guess they got the message. Next few days, I stuck to routine. Work at Hal's auto shop, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., fixing what people broke. Ray kept eyeing me, waiting for me to spill, but I didn't. Finally, on Thursday, he cornered me by the coffee pot. You're different, Jake. Lighter. What's up? I poured a cup, shrugged. Moved out. Done with Tara and her cousin. His eyebrows shot up. No kidding? About time, man. That guy was a leech. I nodded. Yeah, feels good. He clapped my shoulder, left it at that. Ray's not big on words, but he gets it. Friday, Tara texted, first time since the diner. Mitch is gone. I'm working on the mortgage. Can we talk? I stared at it, thumb hovering over the screen. Didn't want to, but figured I'd hear her out, keep things clean. Texted back, tomorrow, noon. Diner again. She replied quick, okay. Thanks. Saturday, I got there early, same booth, same black coffee. Tara showed up on time, looking less wrecked than last time, a hair tied back, no tears. Sat down, hands folded tight. I kicked Mitch out, she said. Told him to figure his own crap out. He's crashing with some bar buddy now. I nodded, waited. I'm sorry, Jake, she went on. Really? I didn't see how bad it got, how I let him drag me into it. I'm trying to fix the money stuff. Refinance is in motion. I sipped my coffee, let her words hang there. Good, I said finally. That's all I asked for. Keep me off the mortgage and we're square. She bit her lip, nodded. You're really gone, huh? I met her eyes, 6 years together, and this was it. Yeah, been gone a while, you just didn't notice. She flinched, but didn't argue. What about us? She asked, voice small. I shook my head. There's no us left, Tara. You had your fun. I'm done carrying it. She looked down, nodded again. Okay, I'll sign whatever you need. I finished my coffee, stood. Lawyer'll send it over. Take care. Walked out, same as before, lighter still. That night, I stopped by the hardware store, grabbed some paint, flat gray, nothing fancy. Started coating the studio walls, covering the cracks. Took my time, brush steady, no rush. Felt like I was building something, not just patching it. Phone buzzed once, text from my buddy Tom, the numbers guy. Heard you're free, man. Beers soon. I grinned, texted back. Hell yeah. First time in years I felt like I could say yes without checking the bank or Tara's plans. Painted till midnight, slept hard. Woke up Sunday to a gray room, a full fridge I'd stocked myself, and nobody telling me I'd missed a spot. That's when I knew I'd turned a corner. A couple weeks after the diner, things started feeling steady, not perfect, just solid. I'd painted the studio gray, bolted together a cheap table from the thrift store, even hung a couple old license plates on the wall for kicks. Work at Hal's auto shop was the same, grease, sweat, and engines humming, but I wasn't dragging myself there anymore. Came home to my own space, cooked what I wanted, usually eggs or burgers, nothing fancy, and slept without somebody else's snoring or complaining in my ear. Tara kept her word, mostly. Lawyer sent papers to get me off the mortgage. She signed quick, no fuss. House was hers now, along with the leaks and the bills. I didn't care, my Chevy, my tools, my fishing pole were safe, and that's what mattered. Friday night, I met Tom for beers at Rusty's Tap, a dive bar by the tracks. He showed up in his credit union polo, grinning like he'd just won a bet. Look at you, Jake, alive again, he said, sliding into the booth. I cracked a smile, first real one in a while. Feels like it. We drank cheap drafts, talked shop, his numbers, my engines. He asked about Tara, and I kept it short. She's handling her mess. I'm out. He nodded, didn't pry. Good for you, man. Been a long time coming. We clinked glasses, and for once, I wasn't counting the cost in my head. 2 beers in, my phone buzzed, a number I didn't know. Ignored it, figured it was a spam call. It buzzed again. Tom raised an eyebrow. You gonna get that? I sighed, picked up. Jake? It's Mitch. His voice was rough, like he'd been yelling or smoking too much. I froze, beer halfway to my mouth. What do you want? I said, flat. He laughed, short and bitter. Not what you think. I'm not begging. Just, look, Tara's losing it. She kicked me out, fine, but now she's saying I owe her all that money you tracked. She's nuts, man. I set the beer down, leaned back. Not my problem. You two figure it out. He kept going, words tumbling fast. I know I screwed you over, all right? I get it. But she's spinning this like I'm the bad guy, and you're the saint who bailed. I'm crashing on a couch, broke, and she's threatening to sue me. I almost laughed, almost. Sounds like karma, Mitch. Why's this my headache? He paused, then, because she's dragging your name into it. Saying you cooked the books to screw us both. That hit different. I gripped the phone tighter. She's lying. I've got proof, every dime, every date. She tries that, she's done. Mitch snorted. Yeah, well, she's desperate. Just warning you, man. Watch your back. He hung up. Tom stared at me, waiting. Trouble? He asked. I rubbed my face, sighed. Maybe. Tara might try something stupid. Tom frowned. You got records, right? I nodded. Locked up tight. He clapped my shoulder. Then you're good. She's grasping at straws. I hoped he was right, but a knot settled in my gut. Next morning, I checked my lockbox, spreadsheets, photos, statements, all there. Backed it up again on a new USB, stashed it in my toolbox. Paranoid, maybe, but I wasn't taking chances. Work was a blur, kept replaying Mitch's call. wondering if Tara'd really go that far. She'd always been about appearances, maybe losing me and Mitch in one swing made her desperate enough to twist the story. Around noon, Ray caught me spacing out over a carburetor. "You're off again, Jake." "Spill it." I told him short version. He whistled low. "She's got guts, I'll give her that." "You got a lawyer?" I shrugged. "Not yet. Hoping it blows over." He shook his head. "Get one. Cover your ass." That night, I called my cousin Danny. He'd done some legal stuff after a bar fight years back. Knew a guy. Left a message. "Hey, Dan, need a lawyer recommendation. X might pull some crap. Call me." Danny texted back an hour later. "Got you. Friend of mine. Cheap but good. Numbers coming." By 9 p.m., I talked to Pete, a gruff attorney who sounded like he smoked 2 packs a day. "Send me what you've got," he rasped. "If she tries anything, we'll bury her in paper." Felt good having backup. Pete wasn't fancy, but he'd do. Sunday, I took Grandpa's fishing pole to the river, just a muddy spot by the bridge, nothing special. Cast a line, sat on a rock, let the quiet sink in. Caught nothing, didn't care. Phone stayed off all day. When I turned it back on at dusk, 3 voicemails waited. First 2 were Tara, first mad, then pleading. "Jake, Mitch is lying. Don't listen to him." Then, "Please, I'm not coming after you. Just call me, okay?" Third was Pete. "Got your stuff, Jake." Ironclad. "She tries any funny business, she's toast. Relax." I deleted Tara's, saved Pete's. Drove home, cooked eggs, cracked a beer from a 6-pack I'd bought myself. Slept easy, knowing I'd build a wall she couldn't climb. Whatever she threw next, I was ready. A month after Mitch's call, things got loud before they went quiet. I'd sent Pete, my lawyer, everything, spreadsheets, photos, the whole lockbox worth of proof. He grunted over the phone, "This is a slam dunk, Jake. She's got nothing." I trusted him, but that knot in my gut wouldn't loosen. Tara kept calling, leaving voicemails that swung from mad to sorry to mad again. "Jake, you can't just ruin me like this." Then, "I didn't mean it. Let's talk." I didn't bite. Mitch went silent. No more warnings, no nothing. Yes, he'd crawled back under whatever rock he'd found. Work at Hal's auto shop kept me sane. Bolts and oil don't lie. Don't twist the truth. Ray checked in daily, half joking. "She see you yet?" I'd shrug. "Not yet." Then, on a Tuesday, it hit. Pete called at lunch, voice gravelly but calm. "Tara's lawyer sent a letter, claims you hid money, screwed her on the house." Bullshit. But they're trying. I leaned against my Chevy in the shop lot, heart thumping. "What's next?" Pete chuckled, dry and short. "We counter. Your records are tighter than a drum. She's got no leg to stand on. Sit tight." That afternoon, he filed something, legal jargon I didn't get, but it shut Tara down fast. Her lawyer backed off by Friday, sent a note saying they'd reassess. Pete translated. "They're done. She's got zip." I exhaled, first real breath in days. Tara texted that night. "Fine, you win. I'm dropping it. Just sign the house over, and we're through." I stared at it, thumb hovering. Called Pete, he said it checked out, no tricks. Saturday, I met her at the diner one last time, neutral ground, same booth. She looked worn thin, no makeup, hands wrapped around a coffee she didn't drink. I slid the mortgage release papers across, my name off, hers alone. She signed, slid them back. "Happy now?" she asked, voice flat. "Not about happy," I said. "About done." She nodded, slow. "I messed up, Jake. Didn't see it till you were gone. I didn't answer 6 years, and that's all she had?" Stood up, left the papers, walked out. Didn't feel like a win, just an end. Next week, I got a surprise. Ray pulled me aside at the shop. "Boss wants to talk." Hal, the owner, was a big guy, quiet, ran the place like a tank. Found him in his office, grease-stained hands flipping through invoices. "Jake," he said, not looking up, "you're steady. Guys like you don't grow on trees. Want you running the shop, foreman. More hours, more pay." I blinked, caught off guard. "Me?" He grunted. "Yeah, you. Been watching. You're in, or not?" I nodded, fast. "In." Shook his hand, felt like a gear clicking into place. Extra cash meant I could ditch the studio, maybe get a small house someday. Felt good, like I'd earned it. Months rolled by. Studio got cozier, added a real bed, a TV, a grill out back. Started fishing more, Sundays by the river, just me and Grandpa's pole. Caught a bass once, let it go, didn't need to keep it. Tom dragged me to Rusty's now and then. Ray joined sometimes, ribbing me about my bachelor pad. Phone stayed quiet, no Tara, no Mitch. Heard through Danny she'd sold the house, moved to an apartment downtown. Mitch was bartending somewhere, still chasing dreams. Didn't care enough to check. One Saturday, I ran into her, hardware store, paint aisle. She was with some guy, skinny, pushing a cart. I was grabbing bolts for a shelf. We locked eyes, nodded awkward, quick. She looked tired. He looked clueless. I paid, left, drove home. Felt nothing, no anger, no ache, just empty space where she used to be. That night, I grilled a burger, cracked a beer, sat on my folding chair out back. Stars were out, air cool. Thought about that night in the garage, me on my knees, Tara's typical cutting deep. Took years, but I'd climbed out. Work was good. Place was mine. Life was simple. Nobody mocking me. Nobody leeching off me. Just Jake, a truck, and a toolbox. Enough? Hell yeah, it was enough.